So welcome back to part two. My name is Chris Tubby. I'm just going to take you through some technical analysis now, a variety of different charts. Again, all of this is done just to try and help you prepare for the week ahead. So before I do that, just the legend so you know exactly what's there. So the black numbers are going to be support and resistance levels based on trend lines. Pink numbers are going to be breakout levels, and claret numbers, they're just going to be horizontal levels where I've identified support or resistance, generally based on double or triple tops or bottoms. So, start off with the Dow Jones as usual. We're just seeing higher and higher sort of stock prices, the indices going higher and higher, making record highs as well in the States at the moment. So we've got that big uptrend there. Just remember these are dailies that I use these days to do this analysis for you. So I've got resistance at 43.23. I've got a lower resistance at 39.160, and then a couple of supports at 38.632 and 38.504. So again, it's quite strong. Now what I've done is I've added a couple of different charts in this week, just so you can see some of the other things that I look at when I'm doing my analysis. And of course, feel free to reach out if you'd like to learn more. So another one that I like to use is the Heikin Ashi. I don't try and put support and resistance lines on it, because that's not what it's for in my mind. All I'm looking for is just that consistency in the colouring, and you can see how sort of impressive that is with the Heikin Ashi. If you want to learn more, just reach out, and I do regular technical analysis courses, workshops, etc. And here's another one that I use, point and figure. So, these three charts are all based on the Dow Daily. And again, for me, it's just very visual, this one. All I'm looking for is support and resistance. And again, once you get used to it, because it does take a little bit getting used to it, you've got to understand it, of course. But I can identify those support and resistances very easily, which gives me lots of trading opportunities during the week. So I just thought I'd add them in there. Again, if you're interested, just reach out to me. I'm sure I can help you in one way or another. Okay, so let's get back just to the candlesticks. Obviously, they're used by the majority of traders anyway. And again, surprise, surprise, the S&P is in that uptrend. It closed above 5,000. It's strong at the moment. Again, we've got, we're going to start to see a bit more data coming out for the rest of the month. So let's just see if it can carry on, especially as some of that is inflation data. And here I've got resistance at 5,048, and I've got support at 4,937. So here I'm moving on to the Nasdaq. Again, just got a nice support line I've managed to find there, and a long-term resistance. I've had to go all the way back to sort of August last year to sort of get the start of that resistance line. And it's really important that you get these touches and that they're very accurate. It can be the difference between getting stopped out or getting a profit. And again, sort of these little gaps that form now and then. Of course, here it came down, filled it, well, more than filled it, and then it carried back on its way again. And for something like that, you can put the Fibonacci's on. I've put that on a couple of charts this week, just not this one. So let's move on to the next one. Okay, so a couple of currencies coming up. So this is the pound against the dollar, also known as cable. And here I've got resistance at 127.64, another resistance at 126.48, and support at 125.47. The UK economy, everyone's doom and gloom about it. It's quite resilient at the moment, but obviously not as strong as the US. And a lot of these moves are really much more about the dollar than they are the other part of the pairs. yeah, so you know that's that one done at the moment. Let's move on to the next one. So here's the euro against the dollar. Now I've added the Fibonacci's on here so you can see them as well. So I've got a couple of trend lines. So let's look at the fibs first. So obviously, you know, you go from, well, on this point, so from the lowest price all the way up to the highest price to put the fibs on, and then they populate these extra levels. And as you can see, you know, when this started to come off, remember these are dailies, this 382 line, nice support there. We had a bounce from there. And then when it finally did break that, then, you know, this 382 became sticky, but much more of a resistance level than a support. And then it sort of ranged between that and the 50 for a week or so. And then finally it broke through the 50, and it's been down now to touch the 618, which is also the golden ratio, which is an analyst's favorite level. But remember, here we're looking to see whether the market's going to be a retracement, which means it carries on back on the way it was going, or whether it's a reversal and it's going to try and come all the way back to where the move started. I've also got a couple of trend lines in there. So I've got a resistance at 108.85. I've got a support at 107.24. And then lower down, I've got a horizontal support line at 106.71. And right up there at the top with the Fibonacci top level, I have also got another resistance level at 111.77. So again, you know, if you're not used to sort of using these types of analysis, then reach out to me because they are, well, give you opportunities for sure. Okay, so Bitcoin, what a stellar week Bitcoin had. Not just getting through 45,000, but it did actually break 48,500 at one stage before just slipping back a little bit. And you know, so I put some blue horizontal lines on here. Now these are just indicating a couple of gaps. So the first one, it was just sort of over a week ago, within the last fortnight. So that's this gap here between 41,360 and 42,145. You know, whether that will come into play at some stage, if there's a bit of a shakeout, we'll have to wait and see. Of course, we've got the Bitcoin halving coming up soon in sort of generally around about April time. And then there's this second gap that did get filled earlier on. So we had this sort of move up and then this move down. And, you know, the markets do eventually like to fill gaps where they can. And again, you know, it made it just a little bit lower than the gap, but not very much. And then, of course, we've got this bounce. So there's another gap here. I'm not saying it's going to fill it. I'm not going to say when it's going to fill it. I'm just saying that it's possible it may come back to fill it at some stage. That's just something to bear in mind. So I've got resistance at 53,252. And I've got support at 39,561 with those trend lines. But again, it's in a little bit of an uptrend at the moment. Now, moving on, gold. You know, it's been a little bit lackluster, a little bit directionless over the last week. It's sort of been ranging. So I've got resistance at the moment at 2,071. And support at 2033. Maybe when we get some more data out this week, it's going to sort of encourage traders and investors to decide which direction that should go in. And always keep an eye on the dollar as well. Last but not least, oil. Again, it sort of had a steady week, finished towards the highs of the week, but still some support and resistances there, not sort of trend line. So here I've got a downtrend line which is being broken at 77.86, and then on the support sides I've got 72.02 and 71.56, and then I've put the fibs on this as well. So again, you can see how these levels do come into play. We've got this 382 level where, yeah, sure, it broke through once, It couldn't sustain that. It closed below. That's always important. You know, not so much that a line gets broken. It's a matter of whether it can close above or below it. So it sort of failed there, and as you can see after that, it tried to test that 382 a couple of times and failed and fell all the way away. Now it's coming back up again, and it's almost pretty much dissecting this downtrend line I've got at 77.86, and I think that's about 78.15 where the actual 382 line resistance is. So I hope you've enjoyed the analysis. So, you know, I try and explain a little bit of what I'm looking at, how I use these charts to try and help you. As I say, I do a technical analysis workshop, or all of it is obviously included in my 1 week intensive course or my 5 week flexi course, well, masterclass course. Anyway, that just leaves me to wish you the very best of luck for next week. Please just wait and watch the last couple of slides regarding disclaimers and my services overall. And yeah, have a great week. So, just a little heads up on my services. So I offer a daily newsletter. That includes global news, headlines, my views. That's a subscription service. I also offer one-day workshops. You know, this helps you to discover if trading could be your next career or maybe just a secondary income. But you know, the one thing is, because I offer a variety of them, is I can also just fill in any gaps that you may have with your current trading, or you know, whether it's macro or actual trading skills. And then I offer a 1 week intensive course. You know, that's going to make you feel confident and competent after just 1 week. And you know, that's going to basically give you the foundations on which to build your trading career. You know, I'm going to help you find that inner trader, and that also now includes a free trading challenge. And then there's my Flexi Masterclass. That's 6 weeks of guided learning, but you can spread them out. You don't have to take them all at once, and that does help to accelerate the learning curve. And that's designed to provide you with all the knowledge and trading tools that you're going to need to navigate these markets, you know, and any asset class, you know, whether it's financial, commodity, digital, I'm involved in them all. And as I say, the weeks can be spread out there, and that also includes a free trading challenge. Trader mentoring, so you know, maybe you've already got some experience but you're looking to get to that next level and you're struggling to do that. I offer mentoring by the hour, by the day, or a monthly subscription. It's entirely up to you. But you know, I just want to help you guys to reach that next level time and again. And of course, I provide lots of trader educational content, not just to individuals but also to exchanges and brokers. And if you're looking for that funded trading account, you know, so you don't have to risk your capital, then contact me for details. I've got 2 good ones that I use. Okay, so finally, as usual, just ending with a disclaimer. So, you know, if you're already involved, then you'll know this. If not, then please take serious note of this, that trading does involve the risk of loss of capital and it's not suitable for everyone. However, I do hope it is for you. And now, because there's leverage involved from many companies, just be careful because you can lose substantially more than that initial investment. You know, the regulators are a bit more on top of that these days, but, you know, even so, just be a bit cautious. Everything that I include in these just purely for educational purposes. I'm not trying to encourage you to trade or invest. That must be your decision. And of course, before you make that decision, you've got to consider the risks involved. And that includes your financial situation, definitely your level of experience, definitely your risk appetite, and of course, only risk capital you're prepared, but more importantly, that you can afford to lose. And if you've got any doubts whatsoever, you know, first of all, think twice before you do it. Speak to a financial advisor. and do that before you risk your capital. You know, I have so many people come to me because they've lost money. I'd rather they come to me and learn how to do it and not lost the money in the first place, because that's just a waste of their savings. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed these, and you know, I'll be doing these on a weekly basis, so I'm going to post the links in places so that you can get to them. My new website will be finished soon, but in the meantime you can reach me at the email address below on all the slides, which is chrisjtubby55@gmail.com. And all I can say is I wish you a wonderful week, best of luck with your trading, and hope to see you again next weekend. Bye for now.